Good midday. Hello. High noon. Welcome again to Hart Ranch Golf Club and our Facebook Live. I don't usually introduce myself, I might as well this time. Stacy Amann, PGA of America. And today we're going to discuss ball flight. I've got my man Les with me today. When we were discussing before we got started here, he was telling me how he had wished that he had learned this earlier, because it's something that he leans on. And any analytical person or somebody who really wants to understand the physics of what's going on is going to be into this. And so we're going to start with discussing path and squareness. And those are the two the main factors that determine ball flight. Now, of course, loft is as well. So we're going to talk about squareness, path, and loft. So we're going to start with path. This club is path, and Les is going to move you, so don't get sick on us. Les will try not to shake it too much. But we're going to this club is going to symbolize...
You're on the wrong Wi-Fi since you rebooted it.
Oh, good call.
Oh, you're back on.
I'm back on?
You're back on, ready to rock.
Hopefully they didn't hear me swear when Les told me that we were off the air. Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't a really bad one, but nonetheless, Mom probably would have got the soap out when I was a kid. So, here we go. This club signifies the path that the head is following when it comes through impact. And you can see it a lot with divots. So, Les, can you see this divot right here? We're going to just use this divot.
We're back on.
We're back. Boy, as long as we don't lose them and we have to start over, we're okay. Sorry about this, folks. I've talked to Brett, our GM, about maybe boosting our Wi-Fi signal. If we lose you, sincere apologies. We are working on it, or at least discussing it. So this divot here, so I don't know if you can see this path. Let's just...
I got
you
them
can
straight, so this
okay.
looks a little left.
So this, if this is my path, what we call an imaginary target line, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's the flagstick. If the flagstick's tucked on the left side of number 11 and the water's 4 paces away, you're probably not aiming at the flag. So the target may be whatever. It could be a tree you pick, or it's the direction that you want the ball to go, and that is a straight line between your ball and the target. And this divot is going across. Back up.
Back on.
Back on. We better keep this short. So that's path. All right, let's back up. Oh,
We're back on.
we're back on. So can you see the face from there? You might have to go over here. Okay, so main thing is, so this would be with the club face perpendicular to our path, that's square. And a club face that is square to the path of the club is going to hit a...
We're back on. We're back on.
We're going on and off. Okay, so we're back with, so a face, if the face is open to our path, that will produce a left to right ball flight.
Right. Oh, back on.
I think it's this hot weather. This is too, and folks, I don't consider this hot, so this is not hot, but lots of people call it hot. But anyway, that's the one variable that's different from our earlier Facebook Live sessions that's changed and maybe throwing off our Wi-Fi. Anyway, face open to the path creates a left to right ball flight.
Can you show us a square face real quick?
You bet. Square is perpendicular to the face, perpendicular to the path. That's about square right there. Don't you think, Les? That's pretty square?
That looks good.
Now, if I have the face closed as it's coming through this path, then my ball will have a right to left ball flight. And I'm using terms for right-handed golfers. No, I'm not. Left and left are the same. If you're left-handed and you've got the club, we would just call this closed for a left-hander instead of open. But the ball is still going to produce a left to right ball flight. And this, the opposite, a right to left ball flight. So path and squareness. Now, the other issue is we talked about is loft. Are we still on?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay, so you just holler right away when you see that technology go flawed on me. Sorry guys, last you didn't say anything.
Oh,
I had junior golfers today from the Boys and Girls Club. These people on Facebook, if they're tuning in, they know it's me, right?
sure.
Stacy with a Y. Okay, so path and squareness has been discussed. Hopefully you got that. Now let's talk about loft. If the handle leads the club head, which we want for any ball that's on the ground, so that the club can hit the ball with a descending blow and then hit the dirt, then this de-lofts the club. So I think we've talked about this in previous Facebooks. So this would be the static loft, meaning whatever loft it's at when the club is straight up and down is what they measure it by in the lie machine. And then dynamic loft is how we move it ourselves. So with dynamic loft, as we swing back, we hinge and we de-loft the club. And then as we release that de-lofting, we call this the release, we are adding loft to the club, which is also creating speed at the end of the pendulum. So we want to be concerned with our dynamic loft position at impact. And with the driver, which we're going to use today, we want to hit that ball. It's on a tee, so we want to hit the ball in the upswing, so we don't want the handle in front of the ball at impact. We want to have it at least even with it, maybe even slightly behind it, so that that club can be rising as it comes through here. If you're a person who starts with the handle in front of that driver, you're going to hit it real low, and you're going to be de-lofting the club. And here's the thing with it. As we move the handle forward, without controlling squareness, squareness is the angle of face. If I move the handle forward without controlling squareness, the face opens. And that's going to create a left to right ball flight. If I have the handle behind without controlling squareness, the face closes. And if I keep this path, it's going to create right to left. So these are the three things that are going to control ball flight. And we're going to hit some shots for you. So what I've got here, so let's see if we can see a ball from behind me, Les. Let's go. I think I've got this club pointed at the picker. We want the alignment club. We call this alignment aid. They actually even sell the little sticks now. They call them alignment sticks. I'm going to call this an alignment club. Nonetheless, it is going to help me know where I am aiming as I set up. So I actually just did this drill yesterday with one of our cart guys, and he was struggling with not being able to straighten out that ball that was going left to right pretty severely. So we did this drill, and we're going to do it for you today. Do we have any viewers?
No, we had one though.
We had one. You know what though, folks? I know you're watching, 'cause people are telling me. Even if we're not getting live interaction, keep tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so what are we going to do first, Les? Do you want me to hit right to left or left to right?
Let's go the common left to right.
Common left to right. Okay, so now grip is certainly a factor. How we hold the club is going to influence the position of the face. Now, I've seen a wide variety of grips, even on the Pro Tour. So it's not, let's just talk about tendencies. A weak grip will tend to create an open face. Can you see my face? Good there, Les?
Yeah.
How about this? How about that?
Even better.
Even better? That's open. Get some real 3D stuff going on here. Facebook in 3D. Okay, so a weak grip means either hand is turned over to the target side of the club. So a left hand weak would look like this or like this. This is real common. Very common. People, I often hear, oh, that's what those lines are there for. Well, I guess technically they are, but just because they make that one on the top the longest doesn't mean that's the one we want to use. We actually want to use, this is pretty good. So they make that one long, but that doesn't mean that that's the one we want to put our thumb on. We'd like to have our thumb over here or even in between these two. That is what we would call neutral. The common thing is as you're looking down without without using that motion, you can see a couple knuckles, these knuckles. I used that the other day and somebody was like, I hadn't had that happen, I don't think, before. So it's not these knuckles, these knuckles. And then same thing with the right hand. If the palm facing the target would be considered neutral, and if it's over the top facing down, that's weak. So hands over here, weak. Hands over here, if I can see the entire backside of my hand and my right hand is under it, that's strong. So I'm going to set up neutral for these shots for us today. And we're just going to hit a couple, and we're going to keep this not too long today, unless we get a bunch of questions.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I think they're going to come.
You think they're going to come? Les is a prognosticator, a prophet.
Learn how to hit the driver.
A prophet. Who doesn't want to learn how to hit the driver better? First thing is get fit. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not... The way I say it means it's very important. If your driver stinks and it doesn't fit you, you're hurting your chances for your success. So go see your pro and see how good that driver fits you if you're struggling with it. If you're hitting it great, obviously it's working pretty good. Problem is, great is a relative term, and what in your mind you might think is great is here, and we get a driver in your hands that fits you, and now this is greater. All right, Les, you ready? Are we still on?
Yep. And for the fitting,
Yeah.
every level the golfer can get fit.
Oh, yeah, Les just nailed it. I hear that all the time. I'm not good enough to get fit. Well, you're the prime candidate, because that's telling me that maybe your clubs are hurting you because you're saying you're not good enough. Now, they may fit you great and you just haven't put enough time into it, or don't have the knowledge you need. But nonetheless, Les is right. Fitting's important for everyone. If it wasn't, elite players wouldn't do it because they're already good, right? Okay, so Les said left to right. So I am going to set up square, but I am going to make an effort. Yeah, I don't have to do it much. This is my natural shot. I'm going to make an effort to make sure that my club head comes across the ball to the left as it comes through, and I'm going to try and maintain a square face, which should make what we call a tight little draw. Try not to get tangled up. I suppose the biggest thing is, since I'm a teacher, is being able to execute it, right? Oh boy, the pressure's on. I better find some rhythm. Rhythm is very important. But I'm not going to do a full shot. I'm going to do this drill that I want you to learn that we're going to do right now is more of a controlled, turn the back to the target, but just get it out here to the side somewhere, and then see if you can find these path and squareness variables that we're talking about. Now, we discussed loft. I'm going to try and make impact with my handle slightly below the head because I want to hit up on this ball. It's on a tee. That's why I would put it on a tee, so we can hit up on it. It makes it easier, folks. Oh, another good tip. Always check to see how high that tee is before you swing. If I've got that tee way up here, I might go right underneath it. And I don't like that because it makes a big bruise on the top of my driver. That's no good. The worst part is the ball only goes about half the distance, if that, because it's popped up. Infield fly rule. Okay, Les, here we go. Les wants left to right. We're going to get a path that's outside in with the space that's square and hit a left to right ball flight. Grip, arms, posture, stance, balance, ball position. Airplane checklist set. Find a little waggle, feel some rhythm, and execute. Could you see the ball, Les?
Better try another one.
It worked.
Yes, it did.
Your Heart Ranch Pro can execute a slice. Now is the tougher part. Let's see if he can execute a draw.
The coveted shot.
Okay. So it's probably a good to discuss, how do I, if I'm outside the in real easy, how do I, if I need to hit a draw, change my path? Well, technically I wouldn't. I'd keep the same path I've got. I would just turn so that my face stays square, and I'm just going to turn so that I'm aiming a little bit right. And now, because I'm aiming with my feet here compared to my target line, it will be easier for me to have my path come inside out. With the square face, will give me a draw. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure my face is still square to my target line, but as I grip it, I'm going to make sure my feet are slightly closed, we call it, and my shoulders are slightly closed. And now, as long as I don't get the impact like this and totally ruin it, remember, if the handle leads, the face opens usually. I'm going to make sure I really get that impact position with nice and square, and then a release, and see if we can't get a draw. All right, Les, ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. So grip, arms, posture, stance, ball position, balance, everything's ready. A little waggle. Oh, I didn't get the rhythm practice swings in before. I've put myself at a disadvantage. Here we go. And we want an inside-out path and a square face. Yes! Success! Can't see the ball though, right?
Can't see the ball.
Trust me, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. I really did hit it right to left. And we're not going to get much more into it than that. I'd love to have, if somebody sees this after, if some questions come up, throw them at us on Facebook for sure. Les has got a question, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, come on over here, Les.
Right.
You gotta use this thing here. This is Les.
So growing up, I guess I had a question. Do you hit your irons and the driver the same way, or do you have to make different swings, or how about some basic driver setup tips?
Driver setup tips, good. Because we weren't going to just talk about driving. We're going to talk, or ball flight. We're going to talk about driving, right?
Right.
We put that in our title.
Yep.
We better make sure we follow the laws. If we say it, we got to do it. All right. So setup tips for the driver. Really good, Les. Really good. Les, you play for college, don't you?
Yep.
What school?
Augustana University.
Les plays for Augustana, and he can play. Nobody plays college golf if they can't play a little bit. All right, so setup tips. It's probably best if I face you, huh, Les? Okay, first, we already talked about grip. So if you're someone who tends to hit a left to right ball flight, let's take a look at that grip. And I'm guessing chances are that you're holding it somewhere like this. And this is what we call weak. And when I say that, it all starts with making sure that the club face is perpendicular to our shoulders. This is how we determine aim. I just got self-conscious. You were so close to me. I wasn't. You couldn't see this, right? Try and make it entertaining. So, shoulders and feet square to each other, club face perpendicular. And if you are someone who hits a hook, I'm going to guess that the chances are that you are more holding it in this manner. Now again, I can still hit a slice with this grip, and I can still hit a hook with this grip if I manipulate the face to do so. So first things first, check the grip. Let's take a look and see what positions we're in. Second thing, very important, and one of the more common things that I see is how are your arms lined up? If I've got my left arm way below my right, and I'll do it this way, if I set up like this, chances are my path is going to come across. Left arm's low, right arm's high, I come this way. If I do the inverse, and I get this left arm up nice and high and the right arm below, then, yeah, you bet. Now it's easier for me to get this club into this. And we don't want to ever point it back here, folks, unless you've got a real significant amount of talent. You're going to struggle from this position. Somewhere in here, I find that from here to here, this position to this position is most successful. And you can see the face here in the backswing. It should be matching my spine angle as square. Now you'll commonly hear that this is square, but I watch The Big Bang Theory and I know physics. It doesn't make sense. Physics says that the angle of our spine is the square club face. So, grip, arms. The other thing with the arms is we'd like them to be extended. If we're stepping up to it with those arms in here, it's just like a car. There's going to be play there, and that club head can move in or it can move out, and it's challenging to know where it's at and hit consistent shots. If I've got my arms extended as I swing, centrifugal force should keep it swinging out away from me, and that club head's going to go through that same slot. I mean, there might be fractions different, of course, but we're going to be, our odds for success are going to be much better. So grip, arms, and this is my natural one, Les. Give me a lesson right now. So I didn't mention the last part of arms, which is that they're connected to our body. So if I keep my underarms real loose and have lots of room under here, our arms don't respond with our body well. So what we do as a drill is we lift our arms up, turn our elbows in towards each other, and then rest them right down on our torso, so that when I turn my torso, my arms are immediately moving with it. Okay, I was going to ask you what my setup looks like. I haven't done video in a while. Is my right arm lower, or is it even?
It's about even.
It's about even.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's good, and I like that. That's what I hope for. I actually would like it to be a little bit under, because I tend to come over the top. But that's what I do, and it's been working, folks. I've been very happy, so I'm not going to change it. Don't change it if it ain't broke. Okay, so grip, arms, posture. And again, we're answering Les's question in depth. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'll move out on you. You're going to run into the cart there. The most common flaw I see with posture is this one. Butt in, shoulders slouched. It's more comfortable. It's not to me, to be honest, but I've been golfing for 37 years, so this feels good to me. Posture, very important. So grip, arms, posture. And of course we have to aim right. Now where our shoulders are going is where we're aimed. We'd like our feet to match it, but if I wanted to hit a draw, I might close them a little bit. If I wanted to hit a fade, I might open them a little bit. Again, that helps influence path. So, grip, arms, posture, stance. Balance is very important, another part of it. If I'm out on my toes, that ball could be way up there, and then as I swing, I fall forward. Real common. I know there's somebody watching that does that. That tends to make you swing across your body, because as you're falling forward, you swing across. Not very many people swing inside out when they fall forward. Grip, arms, posture, balance. With the stance, the wider I am, the more stable I am, but the harder it is to turn in the backswing, and then the harder it is for me to get my body weight to my left foot at impact. So if you're struggling with getting your weight on your left foot at impact, your stance may be too wide. If you're struggling getting an inside out path,